am enough. I am Sarah LaJoy, and this is Becoming. So let's talk about it because today I want to talk about the soft life and not that soft life we see on social media because the internet makes you think that softness is just expensive date, luxury bags, nice cars, and a life that looks calm because somebody else is handling everything. And honey, listen, that version looks nice too. But that's not the softness that I'm after. The soft life I want, it actually existed before in my life, before adulthood. So when I was a little girl, and I mean like a little girl, I used to have tea parties. And not the plastic kind, no shade. My nanny brought me and my sister a porcelain tea set. And I mean, my mama kept it in the china cabinet. So we didn't just have it out every day. But when we did pull it out, you we put on that we put it on like we put it on. Barbies, dolls, baby, they had to come correct. And I mean, if you know Barbie's that girl, but at that tea party, it was on me. Like I was the star of the show. Hey. So I remember just setting everything up just right. The cups, the saucers, all my guests lined up just right. And when you're getting ready for that tea party, you're putting that dress on, that one that just makes you feel like, nothing else in this world could could hit it, could touch it. And in those moments, I wasn't worried about anything at all. Bills weren't my concern. Safety wasn't something that I had to think about. The world didn't feel heavy because as a child you know something without even realizing it. You're covered. Your parents got you. The adults around you are handling things. So you get to just be. And somewhere along the way that shifted. That tea party ready little girl, the one who moved gently, trusted easily, and didn't overthink, baby, she grew up. And life started introducing her to things she didn't have the language for yet. Being misunderstood, having to explain yourself and still not being heard, being soft in rooms that didn't know what to do with it. So she adjusted. She learned how to guard herself, how to stay alert. She learned how to read the rooms before relaxing. And not because she wanted to, but because it felt necessary. And honey, mm-mm-mm. So that version of me, I've lived as for a long time. Always ready, always aware, always on edge, even on good days. And I had to be honest with myself. I wasn't tired because life was falling apart. I was tired because my body stayed tight all the time. I didn't know how to rest without feeling like I should be doing something. And when things were calm, I couldn't even enjoy it because I was always waiting for the next thing to go wrong. And not because peace was bad, but because I wasn't used to living without bracing myself. And y'all, let's talk about how easy it is to give into chaos. Because chaos, it doesn't always come loud. Sometimes it's just picking a fight that you didn't need to pick, overthinking that last text, replaying conversations that already ended. So hell, scrolling instead of resting because rest makes you sit with yourself. And not because you want drama, but because chaos feels familiar. Baby, quiet takes discipline. And temptation, yeah, mm-mm. It's not always something big and dramatic. Sometimes temptation is just comfort. Replying when you don't need to. Entertaining conversations you know aren't going anywhere healthy. And choosing distraction over stillness because stillness makes you feel exposed. Sometimes it's easier to stay busy than to sit with it long enough to feel. Because presence, it requires honesty. And the part that nobody really warns you about is silence. Because silence, it does sound peaceful until you actually sit in it. When everything is quiet and there's nothing to distract you, no noise, no fixing, no reacting, silence makes you sit with you. And honey, that can be uncomfortable because in silence you start noticing what you've been avoiding, the emotions that you keep busy to outrun, the questions you don't ask because you don't know if you're ready for the answers. I've had moments where nothing was wrong in my life, but I still felt restless. And not because something was missing, but because I wasn't used to the stillness. I was used to the chaos. I was used to the noise. So my mind would try to fill the space when I would just sit there. My mind would get to racing. I'll start scrolling, text someone. Hell, I'll start creating scenarios that don't even exist just to fill some space. Anything but be still. And I had to admit something to myself. I wasn't afraid of silence because I was lonely. I was afraid of silence because it made me face myself without all the filters. No roles, no expectations, and no armor. Just me. And when you spent years being the one who holds everything together, silence feels like exposure. But that's when it really hit me. If you're learning how to live more gently, that's not weakness, it's awareness. And softness, it feels uncomfortable at first, and not because it's wrong. It's because you spent so long living in protection mode. Your body is still trying to catch up to the fact that you don't need to wear armor the way you used to. And let's be real, because baby, we weren't put here to just stay tense, to keep pushing through everything, or to live like it's always going to fall, like life is always going to fall apart. That way of living might have helped you through some things, helped you through some seasons, got you through it. But it was never meant to be the place that you stayed. And that's where my faith really checks me. As a child, I lived soft because I knew I was covered. I knew my daddy had me. That was nothing to worry about with Eddie. But now, as an adult, and might I add, I don't have my daddy. But I do have God. And I'm understanding that just the way I felt covered as a child with my daddy, I feel covered that way as an adult with God. I say that God is my provider, my protector, my covering. So I had to ask myself, if I believe that God has me covered now, why am I still living like I got to do this on my own? hmm And that question is why this scripture stops me. Make it your goal to live a quiet life. And first, Thessalonians, Thessalonians 4:11. I'm gonna get it right, but it's not chaotic. It's not constantly reaching. It's telling you the goal is to live a quiet life. And then I pair it with Isaiah 32:17. The fruit of righteousness will be peace. Its effect will be quietness and confidence forever. Those two scriptures right there hold me. And it told me that peace isn't accidental. It grows when you start trusting differently. When you start just giving it to God, when you just surrender it, baby, it's just some kind of peace that just comes over you. And when you catch that peace, when that peace comes over you, you don't want to let it go. And that's where I'm at right now. So on days, of course, it's very hard to, choose peace some days because chaos again, it feels so familiar. Like you know what to expect when the chaos starts. You know how to protect yourself when the noise gets too loud. So choosing the soft life, it's not easy, and sometimes it's not pretty. Yeah, sometimes you just I don't even know, but some days it feels awkward to choose peace over chaos. Some days it's like, but damn, I want to give this energy. I want to, I want the old Sarah to just, make a short appearance. But what is that worth? What does that cost you? It costs you your peace. And honey, peace is expensive. But then I remember that I didn't become guarded because I was broken. I became guarded because I was adapting. And now I'm allowed to adapt again. So, yes, I'm new to the soft life, and not because I forgot how to be strong, not because I didn't make it through the hard seasons, but because I finally realized just getting through was never the end goal. Living gently, intentionally, covered. That's what I was always meant for. So, every day, I try my best to wake up, be intentional, and choose peace. No matter how hard it is, no matter how tempting that old life or that past season was, my goal is to have a quiet life, a soft life, a covered life. And that's all I'm after. So let's talk again next week because we're not done with this. This is just the beginning of our new soft life. Remember, every voice I share, every story I tell is so she walks away with something. You are enough, and I love y'all real bad, real bad.